I'm Joe.
And I'm Taylor.
And this is our house in Roswell, Georgia.
When we first bought this house, we knew that we wanted to renovate the kitchen. It was dated, very dark. We were getting frustrated with how cramped it felt and that we couldn't entertain, we couldn't have friends and family over. I had the first meeting with Justin at Ranney Blair. He gave us a general idea of what the scope of the project would be. And then when we met with Brett and did the design, once we saw the design come to life, there was no turning back at that point. We had to do it, we had to jump in. And so Ranney Blair was able to help us with renovating our entire kitchen and adding a bar space up in our master bedroom.
Okay, so Joe and Taylor bought this house about 1.5 years ago, and one of the things they noticed very early on was that this was definitely a space that they were going to need to renovate in order to kind of make it feel more like a home. The kitchen was very dated. It didn't really match the home. Not only were we trying to update, we were also trying to increase the storage space in the kitchen. It was really awkward for them to try and entertain family and friends because there wasn't really a defined space where they could all congregate. So as we entered the kitchen here, we wanted to make it seem bigger. And so we went with a lighter color. We didn't want to go white because the walls are white. We didn't want it to wash out and make it look like the cabinets were just part of the wall. And so we went with an off-white color. And then we really just tried to do like a soft elegance in the space. So it's simple, beautiful, and it just really kind of revamps the existing kitchen. One of the features that stands out the most is that we have the countertops running up the wall here.
I wouldn't change that for anything. Having the countertops run up the wall behind the stove, it's such a clean look, it's an elevated look, and it's so much more functional, easier to clean, easier to take care of. So that was a pleasant surprise for me. It was something we didn't think about during the design process, and then I went to clean it the other day and I was like, this is amazing.
One of the other things that we also wanted to do is we wanted to add more storage space. Before, this wall in particular was very chunky. We had a wall oven that stuck here and stuck out really far, so it made this kind of walkway very cramped. And it also had some wonky angles that we had to contend with. And so what we did was we eliminated the wall oven and we pushed it back, made a flat row of cabinetry. And then we also did cabinets all the way up to the ceiling to increase that storage space and give it a wider stance between the counters. Joe, he is really big on cooking. He loves to cook. And so one of his requests is that he had space for a large stove. And so we put in a 48-inch Z-line freestanding range. It gives him the ability to really explore his creative side when it comes to cooking and creating those meals for his family in his new space. One of the other things that we really discussed during the design process is that they wanted a sink that was going to be durable. It was going to last a while. With stainless steel sinks, they can scratch. You'll see water stains on them more frequently. And so what we did was we actually put in a granite composite sink, and we paired that with a Delta Touch 2.0 faucet. If you just got done cutting up some chicken and your hands are covered in chicken, you can just tap the back of the faucet with your hands and you're done.
The most surprising part that I love the most about the kitchen is the touch sink, by far. It's just very convenient. You know, having a dedicated bar is not bad either.
Every home needs a dedicated entertainment space, and so aside from the kitchen, we also put in this dedicated bar. They have wine storage, a beverage fridge, so that way they can entertain their friends and they don't have to go into another space to make their drinks, and it's a little bit more fluid.
I mean, Brett knocked it out of the park, and then we came in and we're like, well, if you did this great on this, maybe we should add in a few more things here and a few more things there.
Okay, so this is the primary bedroom. This is Joe and Taylor's sanctuary when they're trying to unwind at the end of the day. And so they really wanted to kind of add that feature in here that made it feel more like this is their safe space. And so we added a small dry bar in here. We added cabinetry, beverage fridge, and some floating shelves to really give it that homey feel so that they could come in here and just kind of escape life and the world.
Anytime you do a project, you wonder, like, is this the right time to do it? And the way that we looked at it is, you know, we do have young kids, but if we can knock this project out and enjoy the space, that just gives us a longer time to enjoy the space with our kids. 80% of our time is spent in the kitchen, even when we host and have friends over.
This is a space now that we want to be in and we want to enjoy. The girls, they have space to cook at the stove. They, can do art projects. They can do everything kind of centers around and revolves around the kitchen.
We look at it, you know, our kids have 18 to 20 summers with us, and then they're off doing their own thing. So if you delay the project, it's like you're kind of delaying that sense of gratification. So you kind of bite the bullet, knock the project out, and enjoy the space as much as you can.
Yeah, I heard what he said.